Hello, hello, Sire here. Thank you so much for joining me for part 3 of the Spellbinders October 2021 card kit. And this is my final 3 cards that I've created using this kit. Definitely a lot of fun, this kit. I can see a lot more cards being made. I have so much left over. It's unbelievable. So to start with card 1, or sorry, this is card 8. I did use the die set to cut that border in gold, and that has the dots all around it. And then I also cut that, I'm going to call it like a galaxy die, and it cuts a bunch of stars out, and I did that on that beautiful blue. As I said before, that blue and the gold is the perfect combination. And I'm also using my favorite piece of pattern paper again. I didn't want to waste it, and so this is the other piece to it. I made a banner out of it and decided to add even more gold to it, and just sliced up some scraps of that gold foil paper that comes in the kit. I don't waste I hardly waste that, and I try to use it as much as possible, even down to just cutting it with a hole punch to create dots. The paper is just amazing, and so I don't want to waste it at all. Of course, unless I had like thousands of sheets of it, then I guess I wouldn't worry too much about it. But it's really awesome quality, especially for die cutting. This is going to be a pretty simple card. I did use that white pattern paper for the background. I didn't want to be too busy because I'm going to be creating these really bold pieces on top of it, the banner and then this centerpiece. Really love how that works together. Just looking through the different dies or ephemera and stickers, and I'm just pulling out pieces that follow this color scheme. So that's that little thing, that little, I don't know what you would call it, a little frame sticker that I put a sentiment on. Love always. It didn't have a color to it, so I decided to just stick that onto one of the frames. It's a little crooked, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about it. And then I pulled out that heart ephemera as well that has this really fun shape, and then the white stars. I like it when the heart shapes aren't perfectly symmetrical. They're just wonky and rough. I like that. Or I think they call it organic. And then so I'm just going to add some foam tape to that so it can be propped up. Just give a little dimension. And that's it for card number 8. Very simple. Okay, card number 9. Let's go looking through my papers. There's that unicorn paper again, but I don't pick it. It goes back into the pile. And instead I decided to pull out some florals and then a matching pattern that wasn't a taking away from the floral. I'm just adding some of that double-sided tape, and then I'm just going to glue them all to some blue, I guess it's light blue cardstock that was in the kit. And I'm just going to use all these for mats so that I have many, many layers to this card. This will also make the card a little bit more thick and not as flimsy. Just removing the tape. I think I had a phone call. That's why I put the paper down and walked away. I don't remember. I remember when I was editing the video, there was like 10 minutes I had to remove. I think something happened, like a phone call or something, and I walked away. The things that happen behind the scenes. Okay, so we're just going to take this tape off and then place it down onto the beautiful blue, light blue, I should say, cardstock. For this card, I am not following a card sketch. I decided to just go with the flow. Sometimes I'm inspired without one, and then I do that. If I am stumped, then I'll look at a card sketch and see what I can do. That's usually how it works. And it really depends. Sometimes I'm stumped, and sometimes I'm just poured with ideas. Okay, just place that in the center there. I really like this. I like the flowers, and I love that gray grid. It's just really, it really adds to the design without, like I said, taking it away. Just playing with some ephemera, that just pulling some pieces in. I have the sentiment Make a Wish. It is black and bold, but I like that personally. I like to make things really stand out. But because it's so small in comparison to the rest of the card, it's not pulling your eye away from the whole card after you see it. So your first thing is going to see the sentiment, of course. It's really bold, but then your eyes will kind of move out. It's not too bad. I'm just going to glue these down so I can pick them up. Just so I remember where I had put everything down. It's not glued securely, but just enough that I could pick it up. And then I'm just going to put that back down and put my flowers in so I know where to place them. Now these flowers are pink. I would have used the blue ones to kind of match, but that's okay. There is some blue in the mix. And maybe it actually looks better this way because it breaks away from the background. You don't want it to be the exact maybe. It might get lost. I am going to prop this up with some foam tape just to get some dimension. You know, one thing I was thinking about, if they had made this foam tape a little bit skinnier, you could do a lot more layering without making it too thick. Like, I would love to have propped up those flowers just a bit and then Make a Wish propped up as well, so that you have 2 layers but still be as high as this foam tape is right now. I think that would be a lot of fun, but I doubt that they will be changing it anytime soon, not just because of my opinion. And now I'm just going to add some stars. These stars, 2 of them, the big gold star and the blue star, were a piece of ephemera, and I glued those down. And then the other ones are the stars that I cut out with the gold cardstock in the kit with the die that came in the kit as well. So I had cut those all before even starting my cards. And then I'm just going to, I put them into my little glass jar, and then I pulled them out whenever I need them. And this just adds a nice, because the tag has it, it just really makes it nice and spread. And that's card number 9. Okay, look at this hot mess. For card 10, I wanted to try to see if I can use up some of these scraps. So these are all the scraps left over from the 9 cards. So I am going to go through them and see if I can just use up some of these without pulling out more paper. I don't do this too often because a lot of times I really want to get into that paper pad and try new styles, but you know, like I said, do something different. Actually, I've never said that before, but just to try something different and create a different, or go a different route. Yes, it's going to be the same paper that's already been used on all the other cards, but you're also trying something by making a nice card without grabbing new supplies. How about that? So I did have these 2, well, it's actually 1 sheet of that lined paper, but it was 2 pieces cut, and I just put them together and had the lines joined together in the opposite direction, if that makes sense. And then I just put that on the bottom. I temporarily glued it on just so that I can create the perfect shape. And because I want that border, I want it to have about a 1/4 inch or a 1/4 inch, I think it is, border. So then I took it off, and I'll play with it more, but now I'm just going to position it. I guess I didn't really need to do that, now that I think about it. I could have just left it on and just taped it, but I want to make sure it was secure. That's what my thinking was, really secure. So I just, one at a time. It's not a big deal. No one's going to see that ripped paper because I'm going to be putting it exactly in the spot again. And I'm just going to add some tape. I find that the glue is not the best for this. The paper is so thin that I find the glue can sometimes ripple the paper. So definitely good. It's definitely nice that Spellbinders provides the double-sided tape with the kit because it works very, very well. And there's more than enough for the 10 cards. Okay, so I'm just going to tie this down. I really like that astrology, geometric, whatever paper. It's just kind of fun. And if you just, as long as you find the right paper to match it, you can make some nice cards. But there's something about that blue sketch looking effect. I was playing around with this, seeing if I wanted to use it, mainly because I want to hide the line in the center of the lined paper. But I felt that was too bold and didn't match so much. So I decided to take a different piece that was already cut like this, and it has more of the matching duller, lighter colors. So it's not too bold. And then I'm going to adhere that to a piece of purple cardstock that was already trimmed down from before, and so it all worked together. I didn't have to cut a new piece of paper. I'm using all scraps here, so it's always nice to see a card being created without breaking into something like a new piece of paper or you know, just using up scraps. I did want to add this little strip here just to break the two layers. I could have used anything. I could have used a gold foil strip. I could have used a piece of cardstock that was in the kit. But because this was already there, this is something I had already trimmed off, I decided to give it a go. And that pink end, I did cut off the brightest part. So that purplish pink kind of matches the purple cardstock that I use as a mat. Now I'm just going through the different sentiments and ephemera and seeing what will match this card. I was thinking about creating a bunch of different sentiments. I like to do the layered like 3, but none of these sentiments really seem to flow. Like I like it when they're similar or it's a continuation, you know, like a continuation would be where it says two totally different sentiments that would complete one sentence, like with a full stop. Or if you wanted the one I said where you have similars, then it would be just words like hooray, hip hip, and things like that, and then you put those together. Those are usually how I use sentiments if I'm going to bundle them up. If they are completely different and unrelated, it seems weird to layer them. So I decided to use this big honkin' sticker instead. This is kind of pushing it. I think it's kind of bold. And but I'm okay with it. It's not bad. It's just, I have a hard time with sentiments that are cutouts of the exact shape. That's all. Sometimes my eye just doesn't seem to like it. Then I put that little banner there, and off camera I had to cut it out because you couldn't see me doing it anyways. I put that little moon strip underneath just to break up that piece of pattern paper, just to create some layers and dimension and all those other buzzwords that we use when we're creating cards. But it's to polish off the card, you know. Adding these little small things actually does break up all these white areas, and they're just subtle. You may not even notice it when you're first looking at it. Now to tie it up, just to break it up some more, I'm going to use up a lot more of these little stars that I had pre-cut. I cut out a lot of stars and I still have a bunch left over. When I'm taking my photos of the images, I even used even more that I cut out. So obviously I went crazy cutting out stars, but a lot of fun. So that's it. That is all my cards. I am going to go through each one. Sorry for the bright light. It was midnight when I was doing this, and the lighting is just awful. But here are my 10 card recap of all the ones I created for October 2021. And so if you didn't see the other 2 parts, definitely check them out, and you'll see what I have created, the process of creating them. I had a lot of fun with this card kit. I have my September one that I have to start working on because I'm out of order, but that should be being worked on soon. So anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I had a great time with this kit, and I hope this has created some inspiration for you. So until then, have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.